You got to give Clemson credit. Great win for them. And then, I thought it was a well-played game by both teams. It's life in the ACC where this is the first time this has happened to us in the 2 years here in the ACC where I thought we played well and lost the game, and that's kind of what happened. We played well for the most part, and I felt what hurt us was two things. We had that lead in the first half, and that's kind of been one of our things this year. We haven't been able just to bury a team. Part of that is just youth and understanding of that. And then the second thing is that started the second half. Thomas got a couple buckets on Ben, and then we got a little cold there, and that was the difference in the game. But the reason we had a chance to win the game or tie the game was because we took care of the ball for the most part. We only had 9 turnovers, 3 the first half, 6 the second half, and Brandon Alston had a great look in the corner there, and then Josh had a look at the layup there. I didn't have any timeouts. I usually like to have one late, but I used one when Ben got fouled. He was a little tired, and I called a 30 to give him a chance to catch his breath to make the free throws, and obviously that didn't work out since he missed the front end of the one-on-one. But bottom line is it was a well-played game by both teams, and obviously Clemson came out on top.
You had another 4-point play right before the half. I mean, another momentum killer. That's got to be head scratching at this point.
Yeah, no, and that's Curtis Haywood. I mean, he's a freshman, and he's got to know better. It's back-to-back games now. I will say, last game versus Florida State, even though they called a 4-point play, the league did send us a note saying that it should have been an offensive foul on Florida State, and they used that clip for training video for the rest of the officials. But obviously, the amount of sleep I lost, there's no consolation on that. So, but that being said, that's our third 4-point play in the last 4 games. We've had 3 games we've had a 4-point play, and they've all been in key situations, end of halves, and it's been frustrating and aggravating. And part of that is youth and just we got to get tougher. There's some areas we got to get tougher, but that's part of where we're at in the program is as we continue to build and move forward and in the rebuild that's part of what we got to do is get tougher. And in this league, you got to be tough. And but I thought AD played well for us. He was 6 of 9 the first half, and he had only 1 field goal the second half. It was 1 for 5. Ben had a couple great looks right there at the top of the key. That's his sweet spot, and he missed a couple that were tough for us. But bottom line is I felt overall we played well and just came on the short end.
You got another game from Josh tonight. Did you expect from him as sort of your leader offensively and defensively?
Yeah, the one thing with him is like that one last play where he got fouled and he got to the free throw line to tie it up. He just willed us to get to the free throw line, and he threw a great pass to to Brandon, who had a great look, and then him keeping up with the offensive glass there, his effort and his motor was just an internal will to find a way, and proud of him for that. That last play, Reed, was AD and Ben were right there to block the shot. When they got the ball to score to go up, and they didn't make a block attempt. I would have liked for them. They should have had a chance to block it. But that being said, Josh had a great drive late, and he was at the rim. He just missed it. Tyler's got to be better.
Seems like he has not played well the last few games.
Tyler's a phenomenal young man, and he's a sweet young man, and I love him dearly. And he's a tremendous human being, and he's a good person, and he's got to be better on the floor.
Okay.
No, I thought, obviously, we dropped some games early that obviously hurt us, but I would also say that I had told everybody, I told my bosses, I told anyone that would listen to me. I said it from all along, and even, and Todd Stansberry and I talked about this even in the summer and in the fall, that this was gonna be the hardest year of the entire, as I call a rebuild. And why is because I knew that we were losing the 3 seniors, and who were 23 years of age, and Quentin, Josh, and Corey. And then the second part is Ben had played, Ben was at such a level last year that, there was no sneak. He didn't play his freshman and sophomore year, so he wasn't gonna sneak up on anybody. And so I knew the youth coming into this season, and I just knew this was gonna be a hard year. Now, maybe how it got to be hard, there was different reasons, obviously, but either way, I knew this was gonna be the hardest year. And so, would I like to have more wins? Of course. And should we have a couple more wins? Absolutely. But regardless, this year was going to be the hardest year, as I personally felt. Now, I say that, and that means, there's still a lot